All right, so I think the stream thinking about things ready to go though. So hello everybody, making ZardX here. Get it again to give you another very exciting podcast episode. That being my ZardCast episode 66. And I'll have to say it's been some kind of week, at least for me personally, because we're coming right off the heels of Black Friday and everything that encompasses and Thanksgiving as a whole though. So it's been, at least in recent memory, a fairly busy weekend just in general, though. But I'm not here alone. I got my good buddy over here, Steven. How's it going, man? Wait, Steven, you there? Well, hold on here. So I might have some technical difficulties going on. I don't hear him in the moment right now, though. He might be saying something though. I got him over here in the background, or maybe he's out doing something, or maybe stepped away from his mic though. But kind of like what I said earlier, a lot of stuff going down with Thanksgiving and stuff. Wait, Steven, are you back? You know what? Maybe. Shoot. See, I hate whenever you do this mess and literally you have everything with all your ducks and stuff in a line ready to go though. But then the second that you manage to go live and everything, then that's when everything wants to kind of go through and mess up though. So I'm just making sure everything's a-okay on my side. That boom bot. That all right, I'll leave something up in here for him to make sure that he's getting it though. Wait, Steven, are you back now? Okay, so maybe wait, telling you, man, I think I wanna say it's this. All right, Steven, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, stupid Discord over here. I was double checking my mics and everything, and I was like, "What the heck?" I was telling everybody, I was like, "Man," I was like, "You be ready to go before the show, and then when the thing happens, then it messes up." And I just have to leave the call and come back though. But I was just saying, how's your week been?
It's been good, kinda boring,
You say
but like
boring though,
I
but
don't know.
hmm,
It's mostly just because Thanksgiving I didn't really do much. It was mostly just work.
I gotcha. Well,
I'm
well,
glad it's over though. These next 2 days are gonna be the most fun days of my week.
eh, well, while we're on the topic of Thanksgiving, manage to eat any good food? Like, did y'all's family throw down, or y'all just kind of keep it simple?
So my family, like a couple of them went out to my stepmom's like mother's house, like for like I think they just had like turkey and whatever, just the basics for Thanksgiving. I didn't go mostly because one, I don't really eat that. I don't really eat turkey and stuff, and two, I was tired, so I just took a nap after work.
Ah, I gotcha.
So I
Dang,
I didn't really have an eventful Thanksgiving besides work.
dang. Number one, that sucks. You have to work in general. Even if you ain't gonna eat a bunch of food, you should at least get that day off.
Oh yeah, well well, we didn't think we were gonna go anywhere because my dad caught COVID, but he started feeling better.
Ah, okay, all right. Well, tough to hear that. So hopefully he's feeling a little bit better though.
Yeah, no,
But
he's fine now. He's perfectly fine. It's been
uh,
like a week.
all right, that's good. At least for me, man, our family always throw down, man. Like I can tell you the whole gist of everything I had. So we had over here, we had turkey, and then of course my sister always has to have ham because turkey's not her favorite thing. So of course we had a turkey and a little smidgen of ham. Then we had like a skillet fried chicken. So we had like three different meats. Technically, my mom brought another turkey, a Cajun turkey from Popeyes, and my aunt also had her own turkey. And I was like, wait a minute, we can't be having five meats at the same time. So obviously, my mom had to take back the turkey with her though. But nonetheless, we were good on meat. We also had some ribs on the side, and those were good too. So I think that's it in terms of meat related stuff. And then in terms of the sides, you just have your traditional Hawaiian rolls that you just buy from the store. We had some mashed potatoes, some red skin potatoes, some mac and cheese. My aunt makes like the best mac and cheese, so it's like, hey, I, I tell you what, Steven, if you go to a black household and they don't have mac and cheese for Thanksgiving, not that Kraft mac and cheese you just buy out from the middle of the aisle, the one that you make yourself with the noodles and
Yeah,
Velveeta or whatnot, though, or whatever you want to put up in there, though, then it's probably a whack Thanksgiving, though. I'm just keeping it a buck 50 over here, though. Um, we
that's
had
fair.
we had that. Um, I think my grandma actually had some greens and we had that as well. And I feel like I'm missing and sweet potato casserole. Have you ever had that before, Steven?
No, I'm a picky eater, so
Okay,
I
that's
have
the thing
not.
we probably have down in the South. It's basically like, you have regular potatoes and sweet potatoes. Basically, you make something that's like a sweet potato base. Like imagine mashed potatoes, but you do it with sweet potatoes, but then you put like some brown cinnamon and you put some like pecans or you could put marshmallows on top of that and then just roast that on top. That's basically what that is. Um I feel like there might be a couple. Oh, and then dressing. That's the staple. Everybody usually always have dressing. At least us in the South, we call it dressing. Those up in the North, they might call it stuffing or whatnot, though. But yeah, we had dressing. And I think that's it in terms of food wise. Dessert wise, do you have desserts for Thanksgiving or no?
So the only thing I ate once I got home on Thanksgiving was, well, I tried to order Papa John's at 11 o'clock after barely waking up, and then I realized that they were closed. So I just went and made a like pan pizza in the oven.
Dang, you didn't even try to go experimental and do like the pan pizza, but like instead of the sauce and stuff. What does Pizza Hut and them do? They just basically put like brown cinnamon or brown
I
sugar
think, I don't know. I just
or
had like one
cinnamon
of
or
those
something.
DiGiorno like pies you buy in the freezer aisle.
Hmm.
But I don't know. That's all I had, and then I went back to bed.
Hmm. Okay. In terms of desserts for me, shoot, you can have all the good food you want in the world in terms of just a regular Thanksgiving though, but the desserts is where it's at. I'm gonna keep it, another buck 50 with you right here. So we had a what was it? Yeah, we had a pecan pie. We had a chocolate pie. We had a caramel cake, a German chocolate cake, a Coca-Cola cake. Yes, you heard me right, Stephen. A Coca-Cola cake. It's something that my
Holy
aunt
shit!
makes. And shoot, it's the only time I can kind of get it out of the whole entire year. And that must be hitting. I know you like soda, so you probably actually would like that dessert. We
I
had
probably
that.
would.
I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, my sister made some kind of lemon blueberry bars or something like that. And I might be missing one more, but I think that's about it on desserts right there. And the funny thing is, nobody else but my family would do this. What was it? We rolled up to and we went to our grandparents' house to eat. So it was like grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins, the whole nine yards there. But
Yeah.
nobody else but my family would do this mess. Literally, my cousin and my sister managed to cut into the caramel cake a day before Thanksgiving. Not only did they cut into that, they cut into I think they cut into the German chocolate cake. Everything that we had that was like cake base, they already took a slice out of it.
Oh my god.
Even my papa came back behind them and actually took a little bit more of the caramel cake. I'm looking at all these rascals. I'm like, bruh, I'm like, if y'all cut something out of every single one of these things before we even hit Thanksgiving Day, you're gonna
Just
have
make
these
another
other
one.
ants. I know you're gonna have all these other ants show up and be like, wait a minute, y'all already been eating this mess?
Yeah.
Yeah, so all the cake's been cut into, but the pies they didn't because we prepared those the day of. But
I'd be pissed.
it's it was funny though, and I looked at that, and then they were cutting into the Coca-Cola cake, Steve, and I was like, all right, enough's enough. I was like, y'all gonna go ahead and do this now. I might as well go ahead and get my slice right now too. 'Cause I ain't gonna eat this cake whenever it's been already sliced up in there. It's not gonna be as fresh. It still be fresh, but it's not gonna be as fresh like when you first cut it. So I'm like, nah, I'm getting a piece of this now while y'all doing all this. So yeah, I'm like, "Huh," that I felt like that was a first because usually my papa would like to just do one slice out of one cake, and we're used to that. But the fact they did that to so many desserts, I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that was my Thanksgiving in a gist. We were there. Wednesday, Thursday, and part of Friday before we bounce out of there, though. But that was the gist of my Thanksgiving.
Sounds fun. I didn't have that fun of a Thanksgiving, but like I didn't have a bad one.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I have to mention it because it's the holiday seasons and stuff, and hopefully everybody else out there, whether you celebrate the holiday or not, because it is just a U.S. holiday and whatnot, though. But hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving, or nonetheless, it's a great day and a great weekend and all that stuff. Though we'll talk about the Black Friday stuff whenever we get to that
Hell
point in
yeah.
this segment, because I managed to get some stuff, and I'll talk about that, the sales and all that kind of good stuff, though. But we'll stay there for a little bit later, though. But think that's about it in terms of this intro segment. So we might as well go ahead and jump over to that pop culture segment. All right. So not really much going on in the pop culture world to where, well, besides us mentioning Thanksgiving and stuff, which I kind of already excluded out of that. I just had in its own little thing though. But the one thing I did want to mention, which I said this in the last episode, yes, I did manage to sit down and watch the Marvels. Steven, I'm pretty sure you still haven't watched it yet, correct?
Of course I haven't. I think the last
Okay.
MCU movie I watched was Guardians 3. So does this get a 3 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10? I'm waiting. I can't wait.
Well, I'll get to the number after I give my thoughts. All right, I have to go into it fresh. So, literally, and obviously, this is just my raw thoughts, a short synopsis, a mini review without the spoilers, though. But I will say this movie is definitely better than the first Marvel. I mean, why did I say Marvel? Than the first
Captain
Captain
Marvel.
Marvel movie. It's better than the first one. So if you're wondering about where that kind of stood up like that, it's definitely better. But the only reason why it was better was because of the addition of Miss Marvel as well as Captain Rambo. If it weren't for these two being up in this movie, ooh, we would have had a this movie with its antagonists and what they were trying to do. Ooh, I would not been a fan of this one at all. But thankfully, they put these two in there, so it's actually digestible. I thought it was actually a fun film, but you can't really take it that seriously. You've seen those movies in the Marvel cinematic universe as well as just the normal one, Steven, where it's like you have those antagonists in the movie that don't really feel like a super antagonizing threat. Like, remember the enemy in the first Iron Man, or if you would think
Oh, you
about
mean
like,
just
oh,
like not that compelling? Like
yeah,
they just
it's like
exist. They just
it's not
exist for a
like
fight
your
scene.
yeah, it's not like your traditional enemy where it's like, oh, they're just purely evil, so you got to triumphant over them, or slash somebody that you can somewhat relate with Thanos. Like you can see why he was doing it, but it still was a
Right,
bad,
okay.
kind of thing. No, it's not that kind of antagonist. It's one of those more self-inflicting antagonists. Because of the
What?
actions you do, you cause an enemy.
Well, it's not even about like relating with like Thanos. It's more Thanos clearly has a motive. Now, whether you think he's right or whether you think he's like a fucking maniac is up to you. But he has a motive. Well, no one, I don't know, those like really bad MCU villains, they don't have motives like for why they do what they do. They just want to be the evil guy.
This one enemy has a motive. But I hate when the motive is because of what the hero has done in the past. I don't know why, but those type of movies, at least from the antagonist role, I just never a fan of it. I don't know. Looking
I
back at
think
it and retrospectively, even when I look at an enemy such as Ultron, even though I know that was self-inflicted by Iron Man, I don't know, the way how he did things and executed things just seemed a bit better than more so, especially with what I'm looking at right here. Even though,
I'd
yes, I know
say
that's an Avengers level movie and whatnot. I get that though, but
yeah,
yeah.
Guardians Volume 3 did that well. Like the whole thing with like what Rocket did to the main villain and him coming back.
Yeah, I mean, because that was like he already kind of did that stuff to Rocket
Well,
in
yeah, he was already a
advance.
piece of crap. He
Yeah.
deserved it. Like that's a good example of one of these villains done right though. That in that movie was a high evolutionary. His name was. He is just a piece of crap. He is like a deplorable. He is a deplorable person, but like he's still an entertaining character because he like has a reason for why he's doing it because he's like wants everything to be perfect
Yeah.
and because he's crazy and that's enough. Like that's enough. Well, I don't know what. So what does the villain in the Marvels want? What is their goal?
So basically, her goal is to revitalize her planet that Captain Marvel accidentally destroyed. Because remember how in the first one, where you had what was it, the Creed as well as the well, I'm snapping my fingers
Scroll.
of scrolls. Yeah, so you basically had that conflict between the two of them, and obviously once we figured out what the why I don't know why I was like to mix those two. No, not the scrolls. The scrolls live on Earth. So the Creed.
Three
Once
are
she
the
figured
blue
out,
ones.
yeah. So the Creed. So once the Creed, she figured out what the Creed has done to her in the past and taking her life away and all that stuff. Though she takes all that frustration out on them and does some damage to it because she was thinking, oh, what was it? That computer system that was basically running everything, like the thing that basically was like their god in a sense, because it basic that computer system basically told them everything to do. Once she took that out of play, because honestly, that messed up her own life. But once she took that thing out of play, it basically almost wrecked the whole entire planet that they were living on. Like their ocean went dry and stuff, and a few other things. But I won't go super into detail though. But rest assured, basically threw the whole planet out of whack. And then since then, because she saw when Captain Marvel did that, like when she was younger, and she just
Oh,
had
so
that
this is the
personal
same
vendetta
planet.
against it.
It's like the same planet from the first movie, I guess. Because
It's like their home world. Because the first movie, I thought a lot of those scenes were taken off of a spaceship or something. I don't remember them actually landing on an actual planet. If memory serves me right, which it's been a long time since I've seen the first Captain Marvel movie.
so is
Oh,
the villain like one of those like villains that like they try to like redeem by the end? Because it does so far like what you're describing doesn't really sound like that much of a villain. Like, okay, I want to fix up my planet that you ruined.
kind of ish, but she was almost about to tear apart the universe just to fix her world, even though I think she didn't really know the full ramifications of what she was actually doing. But obviously,
Yeah,
from the hero standpoint, they already recognized what she was doing and all
ignorance.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know. The
yeah.
antagonist thing brought the movie down because I just couldn't vibe with her. I couldn't relate with her. It just
Sounds boring.
it's a forgettable villain. However, when you see the character interactions between Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Captain Rainbow, that's where the movie shines. And I think adding these two other characters in there with Captain Marvel, it helps balance her out because we know she's technically one of the strongest Marvel MCU heroes
But
out
she's
there,
boring.
and a little bit of that too. But adding these two in the mix liven things up and actually plays the roles of checks and balances in ways that way, because the whole thing is whenever one of them use their powers, they switch places with each other. So it's really kind of giving her a nerve to her powers. Because otherwise, if she was soloing this, it really wouldn't took much of a thing though. But yeah, I think
Yeah,
adding
they
these
had they
ones
had
in,
to nerf her.
yeah, so adding these two in definitely put a lot more character focus. I would definitely say Miss Marvel was the highlight of this movie, even though she's like what one of the three main protagonists or whatnot. Though it's not like it's just solely her. She was my personal highlight of this movie. Like the fun gags and stuff they did with her comedy. You know, obviously she always looked up to Captain Marvel and stuff. The way how they portrayed her is perfect, straight out of the Miss Marvel Disney Plus series, straight into this movie. I really loved her character interactions with everybody, especially with her family interactions, because her family was basically along for the ride for a good chunk of this movie, a lot more than what I honestly thought. And I was like, what the heck? So even her family members actually got quite a bit of screen time, which I wasn't expecting it, but they had some funny comedic effects on this thing, like rest assured. And especially when you get to the very tail end of the movie and how they had to escape from one place to get to another place, though. If you've seen the movie, you know what
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about, though. But that
So it
was
sounds like
absolutely dumb.
so it sounds like it was like, you said you had a fun time with it, but is the movie trying to take itself seriously and
It's
failing?
trying to, yes. It's just
Yeah,
it's
so
like
then
in the middle of
that's
the
not.
road. It doesn't know exactly like, if you're just watching this as a one-off, it's great. But if you're gonna go back and rewatch this again, I don't know if you're gonna get as many kicks or thrills out of it. It's just kind of
Yeah,
in the
which
middle of the
that
road.
definitely can be done, especially with a comedy. You should be able to rewatch that and still get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Like think of it like this. Something that from what you've told me, a very similar movie is Guardians of the Galaxy 1. where
See,
like
no, I could go back and watch the first ones more
that's what I'm
times.
saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like you can probably go back and watch that movie multiple times because like it has a clear like a goal of what it wants to convey and it's got heart. While like I'm assuming, listen, like from everything I've seen of like Miss Marvel, like the actor seems very passionate about it. She seems fine, and I don't know anything about Monica Rambeau besides like I don't know. She was in WandaVision, so I guess you got to watch that to know who she is.
Yeah, and they did a good job of recapping events because they actually had to go back and obviously tell some of the events and stuff that happened within the first Captain Marvel movie. Because remember, that little girl that she interacted with in that first movie was Captain Rambeau that we actually saw in the Wanda Vision series. So they had to actually
Yeah,
recap on that little start from Miss Marvel. Or not Miss Marvel, from Captain Marvel. Then they had
but
to
yeah.
recap a little bit on Miss Marvel's character in general, and they did a little bit of stuff with Captain Rambeau. Because if you
Another
don't
thing,
watch, oh what?
isn't it like the shortest MCU movie to date from what I've heard?
Think it is one of the shortest. I think it is because it comes in at like an hour and 45 minutes. Like by the time we got to the end, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. This should be a little bit more.
I
But yeah,
heard it was I
you
heard it
can
was
definitely
closer
tell.
to an hour 30, yeah.
You could definitely tell. Like that's one of my other main complaints is I wish there was a little bit more with this movie though. But given how the antagonist was, I can kind of see why it wasn't as long as what it was though. But it definitely
Yeah.
doesn't outstay its welcome. That's for sure though.
It
Oh,
sounds like a perfect I haven't watched it. I'll probably watch it when it's on Disney Plus or when I'm bored one day. It sounds like a perfectly mid movie.
it honestly is, and it kind of shows with the what is it, the critic reviews off of Rotten Tomatoes. I want to say it's like in the
It's
40s or
the worst
50s
of
for the
any MCU
critically.
movie. It is the
Yeah.
worst of any MCU
Which
movie.
honestly, it should not be the absolute worst. It should
I
actually
don't
be. I don't know what the first Captain Marvel one was ranked at, but it should be higher than that.
Thor 2 is the worst MCU movie. And still to this day. It is
I
boring
still think
bullshit.
I still think the first Captain Marvel was worse than that one.
Well, at least
I
the
was about to
first
say you.
Captain Marvel was like
Yeah.
unique. It was something new. Samuel L. Jackson was great in that movie, but
That
still,
well, okay, that is true. That is true. That's probably the highlight from that first one. I will
like they
say
did a
that.
like. Listen, I don't really like the use of like CGI in modern Marvel movies, but the CGI they did to DH him actually looked really good, and I
I
don't
mean,
know how
that
they
was
did it.
pretty realistic. Like you would have thought he was shooting that movie in his prime time. Like that was pretty legit.
Yeah, no, it was great. But besides that, was there any just I haven't watched it. Was there any reference of anything Kang or multiverse in the movie at
Mm,
all besides
at-
the post-credit scene, which
the
I've been
the
spoiled
end
on?
credit scene, and I can't talk about that.
Yeah.
That's all I will leave there. But if you
All
look
I'll
it up,
say
you'll
is
know
that
what I'm talking about.
the visual effects in it looked pretty good. I could say that without spoiling it.
Mhm.
Like that visual effect, that CGI thing in the end credit scene, pretty good
Yeah.
looking. And that's something that I actually quite am looking forward to see more of, you know? That's the
Hmm.
best I could say.
And I can't remember if it were actually. I think in this movie there was only. Wait, trying to remember, did this one have 1 or 2 after credits? I know there was 2 different
It had
scenes.
two.
Okay, it had 2
Because it
different
had the
scenes, but
okay,
oh,
can I
okay, yeah. Go ahead.
it had the one I can say this because they've been teasing it for how long? They had the Young Avengers tease.
Yeah, that's the only one I'll let that
Which
slide. I won't
one
say
here's
who
what I'll
they
say.
show, but yeah, I kinda
I
saw it
don't get
coming.
why do they care so much about Young Avengers? Why does everyone like freak out every time Young Avengers is
Well,
mentioned?
I
It
think
doesn't seem that
that's the
interesting.
thing, Steven, is in the comics, you have more than just one squad of Avengers. Like
Oh yeah.
you have the Thunderbolts, which they're not called Avengers, but that's like one posse. You had your traditional one with your Iron Mans and Captain America, and then you had your young adult one. So I think it's just the team synergy. You have different samplings of how different people get to work together versus just like having a big conglomerate, like big Avengers or whatnot.
Yeah. Well,
I guess people that have been reading the comments like the interactions that happen with some of the younger crew versus, the ones that we already kind of got already, which who knows if we can hit that prime again. But the young ones, they might have some potential.
well, the ones from the comics are probably more interesting characters.
Yeah, and at
So
least the two that we know already that are gonna be part of it, I like both their characters. I'm a big fan of both of theirs. So I'm like, okay,
yeah,
we got a solid team thus far, thus far. And it's kind of funny because I seen some mock-ups and some stuff from Twitter, and the dumb funny one was they actually included what was it, Wanda's two imaginary kids up
that's
in the
stupid.
that was dumb. I actually gave out a
That's
good laugh when I saw that because I know that's not accurate, but that was funny to see that on there. I
no,
was like, what the heck?
their superpower is fading away.
Oh goodness. But yeah, so overall, if I were to rank this movie, I would say it would be I want to say a five. I would say a
If you
6 out of 10. 6 out of 10.
uh yeah, like it depends, cause like I'd say obviously 5 out of 10 is the most is like mid.
Now, because the first Captain Marvel was like a 4 or 5 or a 4.5. This one was at least a solid 6. It was close to 7. If it was a little bit longer and a little better antagonist, it could have been 7. But I'll put it at 6.
Yeah, I'd say like for at least for me, a 5 is mid, a a 6 is okay, a 7 is good. So, um if you were going by that, what would you rate it?
Wait, say that again one more time.
So like a 5 would be mid, a 6 would be like just okay, a 7 would be good. What would you
Uh,
give it?
Still a 6. It was just okay.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of weird that they're still kind of in this okay rut. When was the last truly great Marvel movie that was not made by James Gunn?
What else did we have? This so we had this movie,
We
and
had
before it was
Ant-Man.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Actually, like the Ant Man one. I thought that was good. It definitely was better than this one. I'll say that.
Oh, well, yeah, I feel like that was more unique, but like
Maybe because
everything they
Kang
did
was
with
also there too. So I felt the
Kang
stakes were
seemed
better in that movie than definitely this one by far.
yeah, Kang just seemed a lot more disappointing in that movie, like how he was portrayed.
Yeah, but
Like,
yeah, because then you have to remember that was only one variant of him though. But yeah,
yeah, but he gets beaten by ants.
hey, those were superpower ants, man. I like to see you take one the size of you. You ain't winning that fight.
Well, I'll take one, all right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's about it in terms of my short little mini synopsis of the Marvels. I was about to say Captain Marvel too, but the Marvels right there. So honestly, this is gonna be weird because in terms of Marvel segment news and stuff like this, keep it a buck 50 with y'all. We're gonna be in a little bit of a hiatus because the next movie that doesn't come out is Daredevil. Why did I say Daredevil?
Echo.
No, no, no. Well, oh, okay, okay. Well,
Echo's like very soon.
there are the Disney Plus shows because in terms of Disney Plus shows, we have the What If season 2 that's literally going to start a few days before Christmas.
And I'm
So
actually interested in that one.
that's
I
pretty
might
good.
watch that.
And it's actually kind of cool because they're going to drop an episode every single day for like 10 days straight, including dropping one on Christmas Day, which is, I think is going to be Christmas related focus or whatnot. So that's
Pretty
going to be
cool.
cool. But in Echo, they drop all their episodes out in January, all on the same day. So that will be interesting. So that's going to be a binge day for me.
That show seems more interesting. They described that show as more of a Breaking Bad style like drama
Yeah.
with a like more serialized.
But
I
outside
think
of the Disney Plus shows, we're not gonna get anything movie wise related until the Deadpool movie that drops out in the middle of summer next year. And it's the one only movie we're getting next year. So it's gonna be a little bit of some drought periods minus the Disney Plus shows. So
wait, the next movie is Deadpool, you said?
and it's the only movie for 2024 and it drops during the summer.
There's only one movie for holy shit,
That's
MCU's
what I'm
dead.
saying because
Zard, the MCU is dead.
the reason why is because when I think, which I felt like I said this before in the last episode, but
Can can we
it's
even
the
call it the MCU when the shows have a longer one runtime than the movies?
I kind of like it for that sense because you kind of get a little bit more footage for characters that probably wouldn't get it if they had their own solo movie.
Well, yeah,
But
but
at the
like
same point,
but
I kind
they
of,
just take movies and stretch them out. There's no substance to it.
yeah, and that's the thing that, yeah, I definitely mentioned this before, but that's the thing that they mentioned how they literally had actors that, or not actors, directors that normally direct movies and literally shoot it like a movie and then split it up into episodic, events or whatnot. And they said they're moving away from that. So the next show, I don't know if Echo would be truly the next show that will basically showcase them changing that formula because they're gonna go like more TV route series, like stuff you see off of Netflix as it's a solid
Well,
hour or
no,
whatnot
because
though.
here's the thing: if it was its actual TV show, every episode would feel different, but still progress towards the same story.
Yeah,
Like,
so that's the way
look,
they want to go.
I know you haven't watched it, but I'll just give you an example, Zard. So in Breaking Bad, it follows one serialized story, but the story never stays in one place for too long. Like tons of things happen that affect the story that make it go in different ways. And missing one episode is basically a death sentence. You miss one episode, you could miss key details that come back in a major way.
Hmm.
Like you have to, like like it respects the viewer because it expects you to pay attention and hold on to these details and like giving characters development. While MCU cares a lot more about the plot than the character development, which are two different things. Don't get those confused.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah, I get that.
I think the issue is that these MCU shows can be recapped in like a single paragraph or so.
Oh, She-Hulk for
Well,
sure. She-Hulk for
uh,
sure.
while while a show like Breaking Bad, obviously it's 5 seasons long, but even just the first season, I could not summarize that in one sentence, correct? Like without talking about all the different things that happen, all the memorable moments. While from the couple MCU shows I've watched, it is boring.
Yeah, in which because there are ones that do it right, such as like Loki season one, season two. That's pinnacle of the greatness that you could probably ever get. You have unique ones like Miss Marvel, Moon Knight stuff. You get some interesting ones, but then obviously you got bottom of the barrel stuff like a She-Hulk or something like that though. But I think going back to that TV series wise, like literally you can have the format of like what was it, the original Daredevil series on Netflix, or even the Marvel's Agents of Shield, like that kind of formula done with these different MCU shows for the Disney Plus series, that would be perfect. It probably would have made the She-Hulk thing a little bit more digestible if it was in that format. I probably would have criticized it as much as I did. I still have some beef to say about it though, but that was, you have to look at it at a different angle or viewpoint if it was
Well, I
made in
just
that point. But
yeah.
I get what you're saying though. But they are making the changes right now, and they even noticed with some of their movies, like even with the one that should have been dropping out next year, it was, oh gosh, what was it? Captain America 4. They had to reshoot certain parts in the movie because when they did those pre-screening things where they had like a limited small audiences watching some of the stuff they did already, they
People
were
did not
saying that
like it,
was,
right?
yeah, they didn't like it, so they had to go back and reshoot scenes. So that's
Well, it's
what
kind of a
delayed
bad
it a whole
sign
year.
either way. Listen, if the previews, like, think about it like this, Zard. The people that like they screen movies to are like those dumbasses. You know what I mean? Like the general audience that Marvel is looking to appease to. So if the general audience doesn't like it, I'm pretty sure actual Marvel fans will hate it.
Yeah, so hopefully they get that kind of fixed. I want to say it was something related with some of those action sequences or something like. I can't remember the gist of it. I don't have the thing up in front of me though, but something kind of similar on the lines of that though. But I,
Yeah,
I think for the most part, that's about it for my Marvel segment. I didn't think I'd get up to talking about it for this long though. But then
it's
again, it's
mostly
gonna be,
just because there's a drought. Yeah.
yeah. Because I mean, then again, next time I'll probably mention Marvel or anything won't be until like the new year. Whenever I time out that podcast to be right after the holidays, because then we'll have the What If season two that would have aired. But yep, that's pretty much it in terms of that segment right now. So we're gonna go ahead and switch it over to what's in the gaming news. All right, so this one right here is a dumb, I would dare say stupid announcement right here. I don't understand why this is the case. Kind of do, for
I
some unique aspects, but some things not so much. But I am alluding to The Last of Us Part 2 Remaster. Go
it's
ahead,
really
Steven.
funny. I had it all planned out. As soon as you mentioned this, I was just gonna say the word dumb, and then you just said it instead. And you just stole it from me. I was just gonna say how stupid this is that they're making this.
That's the reality of the situation right here, man, because literally you can play The Last of Us Part 2 already. It's originally a PS4 game. And they actually had a PS5 enhancement version already if you happen to take that PS4 disc and stick it into your PS5. There's already some improvements already natively within the PS5 console itself. And then they
This
turned
is like
around and said, we're just going to go ahead and remaster this.
this is like some Skyrim shit. Or Skyrim did a special edition that just slightly messed with stuff.
Yeah. And I'm like, I feel like it's a little uncalled for. Now, I could see the unique stuff about it in the sense that they said they're adding some new stuff up in there. There's like three unused basically called levels that were kind of in their beta forms, but never actually made the cut into the full version of the original launch of this game. So they are going to be here for this remaster thing. So if someone's a diehard Last of Us fan, there is technically new content between that and a couple other things that you can actually get out of this remaster though. So some people will pick it up just for that though. However, they did manage to learn the lesson, at least from the Last of Us Part 1 remaster or remaster remake. Oh gosh. See, this is how you know when they've been doing this for too many times though.
Yeah,
But unlike the first one where you have to pay $70 to get that version, this one you can pay just $10 and upgrade from your PS4 copy to the PS5 copy on this one though. So
thank God.
if you do have
That's
the
like the
game,
only good thing.
that's the only good thing. And at that point, I can't hate. I can't you know, ground on dog on you for your decision making for you to do that. It's only $10. At that point, you can think about it as like DLC. So that's not that bad in comparison to like
Important question.
buying a for a full 70. But yeah,
Is this coming to PC? Is this confirmed?
it's not confirmed, but like anything that they drop on the PS5 at a later point, it's usually a year at a minimum, 2 years at max. You can usually always expect them to drop it on PC. So give it enough
I
time and it will.
I only say that because Last of Us Part One, I think, launched immediately on PC. It was a horrible PC version at launch, but it was still nice to have a PC version.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the
Maybe
turnaround
they.
time on it was a little bit quicker because it wasn't technically it's an older game.
You say
It's
that, but that
technically out
should
there.
be yeah. That seems like that's infinitely more difficult to make than this, which just seems like minor touch-ups.
No, I wasn't talking about the difficulty of how hard or easy it should be to put out there. I'm just saying they wouldn't care about it as much because it's a game that already exists out there. Like people know about the
I
story and
guess
stuff. That's the reason
this
why
is
I was saying that they might have put it out there earlier versus
uh,
they're gonna hold on to Spider-Man 2 for a while. They're not gonna put
I'd
that on PC
argue
that quick.
I'd argue that people know the story of two more, especially because of all the memeing and shit
No,
that's
yeah.
going on
I
with the
mean,
game.
people talk about the game so much that even though I don't even care about the series at all, like I don't care 2 cents about the series at all. But yeah, this game was talked about so much that even I heard about some stuff about this game, and I'm like, what the heck? But
I've I've heard nothing but praise for the first game, but that remaster I just did not hear good things, so I'm interested to see if they're gonna mess up this one even more.
and that's the funny thing because I literally made and recorded a video, and it's scheduled out some point in the month of December about some things I wanted to see either basically my hopes and wishes for 2024. Like it's kind of like a prediction video or whatnot though. But I had to go ahead and mention this in podcast form somewhere, just so my thoughts on it is out there in the wild. I literally said as one of my predictions that we weren't going to get any PS5 games first party PlayStation games in general from Sony at all in 2024. Period. My gut was just saying, no, we ain't gonna get nothing. And lo and behold, this is gonna be releasing in the month of January of next year, though. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to tweak it. I'm basically gonna have to say any brand new games. It's not a remake or a remaster for 2024. So I have to kind of tweak it a little bit though. But
Can
yeah,
I say
my gut
something that
feeling
annoys
still
me?
feels strong about that. But go ahead.
They had the perfect opportunity. Now that because Last of Us Part 1, they called it Part 1 just to make it, make it like look better next to Part 2, you know? So you
Mhm.
have them called Part 1 and Part 2. While now with Last of Us 2 Remastered, you have it messed up again because the original because you had Last of Us 1 Remastered on PS4.
Yeah, and
So
yeah, because
just my
they've been doing the
OCD is kicking
remasters.
in.
Yeah, the remasters and remakes have been done so many times. I made a tweet about this mess somewhere on Twitter, and I'm trying to see if I can go back and find it though. But there was literally like Naughty Dog has been working on basically two game series at this point. I think there might have been a third, but it's basically two: Uncharted and The Last of Us. And how many things they have done with The Last of Us, where it's in the original release for both these two games, either a remaster or like the remake or whatever you want to call it, between all these different versions, is absurd. But I'll let you keep
Well,
talking because I'm trying to find this one.
Uncharted got a collection somewhere recently. If you don't know, they reference this once in a while. Naughty Dog are the original developers for Crash Bandicoot, so it's not like they don't have talent.
No, yeah, that is true. Like I know they had talent in the game, just looking at it in the sense of how it runs and stuff. Don't get me wrong, like the physics and stuff behind it and the stuff you're able to do in the game, it's incredible. Even though I don't care two licks about the story, I can appreciate what it does mechanically.
It's a good tech demo.
Yeah.
Uncharted, I know people like more. Like I know people like the Uncharted games, or at least most of them. So like I'm willing to give those games a try. And I have here's the thing, I literally have Last of Us Remastered, so I have no excuse. Like I could play Last of Us Remastered if I wanted to. And I've heard good things about that, but like everything I've heard about Last of Us Part 2, I'm not wasting my money on that game unless it's like extremely on sale.
Mhm. I'm trying to dang. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe uh, I really wanted to find this thing because it was absurd how many times that this has been. I probably won't find it until literally way after this. If I do manage to find it after the point, then I'll mention about it though. But it literally was like a tweet that broke it down from like a year by year basis in terms of what they've been working with, whether it's the originals, the remakes, the remasters, or even like the DLC or the multiplayer stuff. And I
Oh
mean,
yeah, it's another thing. Last of Us 2 never got its multiplayer.
and I don't think it ever will, to be honest.
Well, it's just weird that they focus on doing this unnecessary remaster before finishing the multiplayer.
Hmm.
It just really it really seems like a cash grab to get people to spend more money on a game they already own.
I mean, it really is, to be honest, because I feel like at this point they're just trying to make as much money as possible. With found it, heck yes. Okay, gave me enough time. I found it. So literally, we can start at 2013. They had The Last of Us. In 2014, they had The Last of Us Left Behind and The Last of Us Remaster.
Well,
1 year later, they had the
wait,
remaster.
sorry to interrupt you. That is the only one that actually made sense though, because it came out right at the dawn of like the PS4. It came out right before the PS4. So it kind of made sense for them to like have a PS4 enhanced version right away.
And this point early on, I wouldn't blame him. It's kind of like how the Wii U had all of its games with the deluxe term added to it. So that early on, whatever. I wasn't, I wouldn't had any beef with him with that
Yeah,
though.
I was about to say Switch ports are equally as annoying as this, but like it's
But
just
that was more
especially
acceptable from the business side perspective when you look at 16 million Wii U owners to 130 million Switch users.
well, I
The
think
business
this
wise,
is
it made sense.
it would be like if they released Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Wii U, you know?
Yeah,
Like you have to buy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the exact same console again for this new content. That it would be like if they did that.
yeah. So going back at it, the first Last of Us, 2013. Last of Us Left Behind, which I guess those might have been a DLC thing.
I think that's
And
multiplayer.
Okay, the multiplayer. And The Last of Us Remaster was in 2014. 2 years later, okay, we mix it up a little bit. Uncharted 4, Thief's End. 2017, Uncharted The Lost Legacy. But now we got to go back. Last of Us Part 2 in 2020. So what was it? That was like a 6 year gap between the Last of Us Remastered to The Last of Us Part 2. Not too bad. I don't think anybody would have had a problem with that. But then in 2022, you had Uncharted: The Legacy of Thieves collection. I think that's what you were mentioning earlier. But then you also had Last of Us Part 1 that just came back. So now that's the remake to the first one, even though there's already a remaster one that existed on the PS4, and you just remade it to bring it back up to the PS5. So basically, it's pulling the Pikmin, but I think a little bit worse though. Where it's like, hey, we got to put this game on every single console that PlayStation's putting out.
Yeah, but the difference is that you can play Last of Us Remastered on PS5 already.
And that's where it gets a little dumb. And then obviously now in 2024 in January, we're getting The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. So
I guess the issue is that it's just unnecessary. Like obviously it's probably gonna be better than the original. It's gonna have more stuff. It's gonna look better. This, that, and that. But there comes a point when you make too many changes. Like for example, one of my least favorite ones, Spider-Man Remastered. Why did they change Peter's face model? He looked so much better in the original.
I mean, I can't speak too much on that one because I
Yeah,
played the
I get you.
remaster one, so I don't really have an opinion on that one
Just
though. But
trust me on it when I say, okay, it's an opinion thing, I guess. I liked his old face a lot
'cause
more.
I looked at the old face, but now that I have reference points between the Spider-Man remaster, Miles Morales, and now Spider-Man 2, looking at the original design for the first one, it looks whack to me now in comparison now that I've seen them in 3 different games. But I know it is opinion based.
Yeah, I just wish it was either I wish they made it an option or I wish they never changed it because it was not bad or anything. It was good.
Yeah.
I'd say they just changed it to fit the voice actor more, which I guess fine.
Yeah, so jumping back on the Last of Us stuff, and this is probably the last little bit I have to, golly, no pun intended, that I got to say about this series before we move
It's
on,
The
though.
Last of Us.
But I think the thing that makes it a little weird is when you look at the first Last of Us and the remaster that came out the year later. So basically, you had it on the PS3 and the PS4 at that point. If they would have skipped the PS5, not touched the first game at all, and then had the PS6 several years later, and then had The Last of Us remake part one, I probably would have no issue with it because then at least you missed a whole console generation where it doesn't exist, and then you put them back in the ecosystem after it skipped the whole generation. At least put a little bit of time between it. It's kind of like how you have Pokemon remakes. You don't necessarily get a Pokemon remake every single console that comes out. It's basically every other console the way they've been dropping those rates. But yeah, so imagine if they did it every single one. That'll be a little bit weird though. So you got to space this stuff out. If they space it out, I wouldn't have an issue with it. But when you can buy a remaster and a new version on the same exact console, I just feel like it's just
Yeah.
a little bit unnecessary, a little bit outdone. I know they have a lot of talent in the studio though, but when it seems like they're mostly dedicated all their resources to The Last of Us, I'm like, man, I know y'all can put out some better stuff. Like at least spread a little more love into what was it, the Uncharted series. I'd love to see a brand new game for that. But I think I rested my case. You have any other parting
I
words?
I hope this doesn't become a pattern with other studios.
I hope so too. I hope it doesn't become a pattern because literally, Insomniac Games has been holding this thing up from day one. If it weren't for them, oh shoot, bro. I don't know what kind of other good exclusives you would have had out on the system that wasn't just them moving something over into the next thing. Give a little credit to Horizon, a little credit to God of War, but like, what
Ratchet and
else have we?
Clank.
No, Ratchet and
Wait,
Clank
that's
is
Insomniac.
Insomniac.
Fuck.
That's what I'm saying. So I gave a little credit to both of those other two one, but when you look at Insomniac, you have Miles Morales, you have the Spider-Man 2, you have Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and now you know what their next project is. You know it's Wolverine. You can't say that with a lot of these other PlayStation studios. You don't know what the heck they're working on as of the moment. You can kind of speculate maybe Naughty Dog's doing obviously another Last of Us game, and maybe the same thing with a couple other studios though, but nothing's concrete in stone.
I think more people than ever are getting PCs nowadays.
I mean, I
So
got
it's
one
kind of
now, so
well, yeah, it's just becoming. I think PS5 needs to do something because obviously it's not like the Switch is even competing. The Switch just gets too many exclusives to actually compete with them.
yeah, so hopefully something changes up in the PlayStation side. It's funny how they're selling this many consoles, yet in terms of first party wise, if you're not buying a game that's made by Insomniac Games, then it's kind of like, well, what in the world are you even doing? Unless you're someone like me who never owned a PlayStation or missed out on the PS4 generation, there's a ton of stuff that you can go through and play. Like, my backlog is still kind of sitting over there with some games and stuff like that. It's not an issue for me, but if you're the diehard Sony fan, I don't know why they aren't jumping on Sony's back a little bit more so on this because it's even more of a glaring issue for people that have been in their ecosystem for long periods of time,
If
though.
there's one thing I don't like, it's console war dumbasses. You know how many people there are that still go and be like Sony better, Xbox better
Oh man, we
all
don't
the
even got
time.
time. We ain't got time for all that. There's some
But
weirdos on
like,
Twitter, man.
yeah, there's just no, there's just weirdos everywhere. I see them in real life too. People like fighting over it. It just makes no sense. Like, play. Oh, I will say though, Xbox. Well, Xbox just inherently doesn't have exclusives because everything also comes to PC for them. But Game Pass single-handedly carries them for the most part.
Yeah,
Like,
for the
think about
most
it.
part, yeah.
Buying an Xbox and immediately having a catalog of games is so much more user-friendly and accessible for people getting into gaming. While PS5s are more for people that are like, more veterans.
Yeah, I mean, because when you could buy, was it a Series S for $300, and then just get a little bit of a Game Pass on there, and then you're basically set, and that sets you up with a whole bunch of games, a lot more than what you would if you bought a brand new PS5. Maybe you got lucky and got a game that's attached with it, but I mean, that's all you got. So yeah,
Well, yeah, I like the PS5, but my God, like I wouldn't play it nearly as much if it didn't have exclusives and stuff.
yeah. But I think that's pretty much it in terms of the Last of Us segment right here. So we'll go ahead and roll over to the next topic because yes, we're coming right off the heels of Thanksgiving. So what does that mean? Yes, it is Black Friday time. Of course, they went through and slashed some prices on a lot of different electronic stuff. And it's funny because I actually saw a video out there. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, Stephen, though, but somebody was in Target removing signs and stuff, trying to see, what the Black Friday price was and what the traditional normal price was for Target. And they pulled it out and it was the same exact thing. They're like, what? I was like, this ain't really a bargain deal or a sale. And they pulled it out on a few other things. It was all the same. It's kind of funny because the retailers are getting a little smart where they're like, hey, we can slap the Black Friday label on this thing. And maybe we can incentivize people to still buy this stuff, even though they didn't really cut the cost on it, though. I don't know. I
I,
didn't see as
as you've
many
been
good
saying
deals
this,
this year, though. But what you got?
I looked up the video. That is really funny.
No, yeah, and it's funny because literally, I think the retailers are noticing this a little bit more because they're like, "Hey, there's going to be people out there that are not going to be as educated when they're walking the stores and do this." And it's different because when you purchase things online, you can see what the original cost of the whatever you're about to buy is, and comparing it to what they market it as on sale for Black Friday. So
Yeah.
that's why I do most of my shopping online in comparison to just going into the store. It's just a lot more convenient to either have it shipped to your house or stop by the retailer later. Just go to the pickup desk, pick up all your stuff, and just roll out. I mean, that's just how I usually do my stuff, though. But how do you normally do
Yeah.
your stuff, Steven?
Here's the thing, like at least for any electronics, even if I go in store, I still end up looking up prices on my phone anyway.
That's smart.
Like I'll be in the store and I'll see a game and I'll be like, okay, can I get this from anywhere cheaper? No, okay. And then like if I can get it for cheaper somewhere, I won't buy it.
Yeah,
But like
that's
most of the time, I'd rather just buy any games. Like I don't go into GameStop anymore because the people that trade stuff in the GameStop don't keep it in good condition and they're
it's like that
overpriced.
trashy stuff, like some
Like
rubbish. You got a little bit of
like
skin, a little bit of
like
like fungus up in there, a little
yeah,
stank
yeah.
up on that
I know
mess.
I know people don't trust eBay and all, but like if you find a trusted reviewed seller on eBay, they're 10 times better than anything GameStop will give you.
Really?
Yes.
Dang.
If
I,
you come on, if you find someone on eBay that has 5-star reviews and like out of 1,000 reviews nothing goes wrong, then that's trust for the most part. Every single retro game and like retro device I've bought on eBay has never given me an issue.
Yeah, I'd say I agree with you on that. 'Cause most of the stuff I bought from eBay has been rated their percentage wise like in the 90s. So it's all been good. There was only one issue I had, and it was when I bought Simpsons Hit and Run from somebody. I put it in my GameCube and it played for a little bit. It got past a certain loading screen and it just died. So I was like, that was the one game I had to return
Yeah.
back to that person and use their eBay price back guarantee thing to force that return back on them, and I have to buy it from somebody else. But outside of that, every other game I gotten has been
Yeah.
good, and it's
So
came in the
I went
condition that I saw.
Yeah, because I went to GameStop. I bought Pokemon Platinum for $80 and it was a bootleg copy.
Dang,
And you want to know what they told me when I went in there?
what did they tell you?
They told me, "Oh, you should have been more careful with your purchase. We don't check every single game to make sure it's real or fake."
Dang, I
And
feel
I'm
like it's
like, that's literally their job. Why are you selling retro games if you don't even know they're real?
it's who they hire. And they probably
It's
don't even train them
misleading.
on that. Yeah,
Yeah, like even if they don't hire them for that, like he shouldn't be giving me a problem about giving me my money back if he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
yeah. So
That's like my experience.
at least for you, did you manage to get any stuff for a Black Friday?
Couple things.
All right, what you
Not a
got?
lot necessarily. So, I got Halo Master Chief Collection on Steam for $10, which
Oh
I'd
wait,
say
they
is a
selling
good
that
deal.
game on Steam for just $10?
Yeah, for Halo Master Chief Collection, and let me see if it's still yeah, it's still $10.
What the freak? Okay. All right.
Go
I'm
get
gonna
it,
put I'm
Zard.
gonna I'm
It's
gonna put a
like 4
bookmark on it
Halo
because
games.
I'm gonna put a bookmark on it because if I can play it with you, then I might. I'm
It
looking for
ends in
stuff to add
30
with Steam.
it ends in 37 hours.
Okay.
Well, here's the
I'll
thing,
keep.
here's the thing, they all have campaigns anyway.
No, and that too. If it has a good campaign, and obviously I know you can play the multiplayer free on PC versus like if
Yeah,
you had an Xbox or whatever,
people
then
love the
yeah,
campaigns.
I might look into that one. Thanks for telling me about that one. All right, what else you got?
Um, so I have it on my wish list. There's that game Dave the Diver that's on sale right
Oh,
now.
that hit new that I heard about that
It's not
indie
an
one.
indie game. It's not. It's technically not an indie game. Game
Is it
Awards lied.
technically not an indie game when they actually put that mess in
Yes,
the Nindies Direct?
they lied.
Look at that, bro. Okay, go on.
It's technically not indie. Uh, Another one, Dead Space remake is half off, but I already have it on PS5. But that's still a great deal.
Hmm.
A lot of a lot of deals, just things going half off. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is 70% off, only $15. Last of Us Part 1 is only $40. So many indie games are on sale, it's not even funny. Sonic Origins is $20. Sonic Colors Ultimate is $16. And these are just on Steam. There's Humble bundles that are even better. This is the main one. You can get the entirety of the Yakuza series for uh like I think it was like
40 something
seventy
bucks.
dollars
Oh,
or
70.
40 something.
Hmm.
It was either I think it was either 40 or 70, you know?
That's
But
not
like
too bad.
you can get 7 Yakuza games for that much.
Hmm. That's not too.
Like
That's not too shabby.
and I know you obviously Like a Dragon plays different from the other ones, but like if you like if you like the humor and if you like the world of Yakuza Like a Dragon, you'll probably like the older ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of games on sale. Hollow Knight's half off. That's a great one. Just like Steam, I'm just looking at only Steam. If you go on a Humble, they have deals on like Nintendo games. A lot of Nintendo games are like 20 bucks off right now.
Yeah.
Their first parties at least. it's just a good time for sales right now. Spider-Man Remastered is 35.99. Just good.
Yeah, and it's
I
interesting
didn't.
how you mentioned all the stuff with Steam, which I hadn't took the time to actually look at all the Steam stuff. I was mostly looking at, just the retailers in general though, but it was nice to hear some of those stuff. And I'll definitely look up a few more things because we're still in the midst of it. Like it's funny because the Black Friday sales that managed to slip past the Friday and the Saturday, they just roll that over into Monday deals for like Sunday and the Monday. So it's like, a lot of these things we're saying right now, you still, depending on the time you're watching this, you're still able to kind of get these for those rough prices though. But I'm just
Yeah,
looking at this. Oh, go ahead.
it's just like so many good games are on good sales right now. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is only $10.
Get that game if you have not. That's literally one of the best
I
platformers you
know,
can ever play in your life
I know.
to you and the viewers.
Fucking yeah, so many good ones. Rayman Legends for $6. It's just a great time to be buying games on sale.
So yes, was that mostly it in terms of stuff that you actually bought?
Okay, I didn't buy all. I was just reading all
No,
the
no, no, no. I
deals.
meant I
The
meant
Masters.
besides the ones that you mentioned earlier.
I also bought Doom Eternal for $10.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I think I bought my Doom Eternal for I want to say $15, but that might have been Black Friday last year or the year before last or something like that. But yeah, that's not
Oh
too
wait, no,
bad.
correction. I bought it with all of the DLC for $20.
Okay, now I don't have the DLC for it. So that
Yeah,
might
it
yeah,
was
that
a
might have
very
been good.
good deal.
Now, in terms of stuff that I managed to get, I'm a little good this way. I'm a little good, Steven. Like I'm a hustler, man. I'm a hustler.
I
So
could tell.
my brother managed to get me NBA 2K 24.
Oh,
And if you know anything about my tastes, I like sports. Like you've heard me in the Discord server call before with football and basketball games.
yeah,
I
I
like
know.
sports, but I'm not so much of a sports person with games. Like unless
Yeah,
it's like Nintendo wise, like a GameCube Mario Strikers or something like that. Like unless it's something like that, that's one thing. But like your Maddens and your FIFAs, no, I don't do that stuff.
I could
So I was
hardly care.
so it's funny because my dad got me the previous year version last Christmas, and I never did anything with that one. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna have both of these games sitting next to each other in back-to-back years though. So what I did was I decided to return it back to Amazon, and basically they credited it back to me as like gift card. Oh, oh, hold on, real quick. But go ahead and keep talking about your deals real quick.
Wait, what?
Oh no, keep going on and talking about your deals. Something popped up real quick, but keep on talking.
That's fine. Fuck. Uh, let me just do what I always do. Let me just go to Nintendo deal on Twitter. I know Wario 64 has it. You can get Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on Steam for 565. Um, at least most of the Cyber Monday deals are going up right now. So you can get a lot of PC parts for super cheap. You can probably make a good PC right now. For like maybe 15% off altogether.
Okay,
Um,
I'm back.
a lot of toy deals as well. There's just like really good deals right now, and the deals like every single year, especially with prices of things going up, the deals have also been getting better.
Oh yeah, because I think those computer deals, like what you said, they're pretty good. And I know if you're gonna build or do something with a PC, I know Black Friday, especially Cyber Monday, that's definitely the time to do it. Because like even storage prices, which I didn't even mention about this, Cyber Monday is a good time to buy either micro SD cards for your switches if you want to upgrade that, or even the what is it, the NVD? I can't remember exactly what they're called, but basically the SSDs that you put up in like a
M.2.
PlayStation 5. Yeah, good time to upgrade storage.
Yeah, no, there's just good deals right now on everything, and I like that. Um, Humble Bundle's always got the good ones. There's like a bundle right now with some of the Telltale games and other stuff behind the same studio that made those.
Hmm.
Like I said, a shit ton of Lego sets are on sale.
No, yeah. Oh, and
Celeste is $5
oh,
on Steam.
that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
It's not even just video games. There's a bunch of movies and TV shows on sale as well.
And what was it? Oh yeah, I was telling that story about the about my thing. So yeah, so I returned that game, credited that money back for the NBA game, and got it back for like $75-ish after the tax. And I used that money, pocketed it, and waited until Black Friday. It was literally my birthday. It's like 1 week before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and all of that. Roughly about a week. So I managed to get the funds right before it end. And what was it? Final Fantasy 16 went on sale for $40. So I picked that game up. Also, Mario Rabbit Sparks of Hope got slashed down. Originally, that game launched at 60, then they lowered it to 40, and that's the new typical MSRP. They lowered that thing for Black Friday down to $15. So I
It's a
also
good game.
picked up both of that. So basically, I got that game turning in that one game, I managed to get two games back, which
I
is pretty
regret
good.
I regret not buying. Well, I regret not finishing Sparks of Hope because I really like Sparks of Hope, but something came up as I was playing it, and I don't remember what.
Oh, I hate it whenever if you pause an RPG and you jump
Yeah,
on something
no, that
else and you do something else, unless you're willing to start over, it is hard to get back up in it.
yeah, and I just finally finished an RPG recently for the first time in a while, and it felt so good.
Ooh, I'm
So I
trying to
gotta
think.
do that more.
And then what else did I get? I got both of those two, and then with the remaining bit of my money on that one, I also managed to pick up what was it? The Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. I managed to pick that one up because that was slashed from 60 to 40. And then by the time I had the last little bit of remaining money from my refund, I managed to basically pick that game up for like $25 that came out of my pocket. So I managed to get three games. Two of them were completely covered via a gift, and then the other one I had to go slightly out of my pocket. So I managed to pick up those three. So I'm pretty content in terms of games because those were the ones I was kind of looking at getting maybe throughout the year, or at least with Mario Rabbit Sparks of Hope. I knew it was going to be on sale for like dirt cheap way later though. So I was like, hey, that was pretty good. And I
Yeah, I'm
think
just looking at the
and
deals
I
as
think the
talking.
craziest deal I
So
think
many
I
good
might have
ones.
ran across was when Target was selling a PS5 for $350.
Yeah, that's like the main one, Zard. That's like the big one.
That was probably the biggest and
That's
best deal
literally
you're
just
ever gonna get.
Sony trying to get rid of stock.
But I think with the
Yeah,
Target
that's
one, with
like
that sale, you
what
have to be part
that's
of the Target circle in order to get it though. But I want to say, was it
that's
the
like a
original model
30%
or
off
was it the
deal.
discless? No, it was a discless PS5 that they
It
sold,
was
and I think it was the
disc.
new. And I think it was. Thought it was
It was
discless.
disc.
Are you sure?
It it was the old disc one. Yes. That's what I'm saying, Zard. That's like a 30% deal, I swear. It is a PlayStation 5 disc.
Hmm. Uh.
I
Oh
know
yeah.
it's
No.
went
Yeah.
out
I'm looking.
super
I'm looking.
fast, but
Yeah. I'm
still.
looking at it now. Gosh. Oh, that PS5 was on a white background, and it was so thin I could barely see the disc part showing up on there. Yeah. You're right. Oh shoot. Yeah. They're really trying to get rid of that model. My
I'm pretty
gosh.
sure the whenever I was just gonna say whenever Sony refers to the PS5, they refer to the original. They refer to the regular disc PS5 as just PlayStation 5, and then they refer to the digital one as they always specify digital.
Yeah. That's what they normally like
That's
to
a good
do.
way to distinguish it. Obviously, now with the new one, it doesn't really matter if you find a good deal on the discless. I'm pretty sure the disc drive ain't gonna go on sale a lot.
Yeah, and then I think if you're an Xbox person, which none of us are really Xbox people though, but if you happen to be looking for one, I think the best one that you can do on that is picking up an Xbox Series X from Best Buy. If you have the My Best Buy Plus membership, then you can actually buy the Xbox Series X for $400 instead of 500. That's probably like the
They
best
had
I've
a
seen in
really
terms of console deals.
I don't know where I seen it. There was a deal for an Xbox Series X for like $150 the other day.
What the heck were you looking at?
S.
Oh, an
Like
S. Oh,
Xbox
okay,
Series S.
okay.
I might have
I was
said it.
about to say for $150, if you saw a Series X, shoot, I might just buy it just to flip it.
No, but Xbox Series S, it like sold real like or like that sale. I think it was weirdly enough on like TikTok Shop. I
Hmm.
don't know. And obviously Nintendo had their whole Smash Bros Ultimate deal.
Yeah,
So that was
350
like
with
the
an
big
actual
deal for
OLED
them.
now. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting now
Yeah,
you
which
you
is
saw
nice.
one that didn't have Mario Kart on there. Even though there was a Mario Kart model. It's funny how we got one finally that didn't have Mario Kart and it took all these years. So that
Maybe
was kind
they
of funny.
well yeah, maybe they're doing that because like I'm pretty sure they now have that booster course pass plus Mario Kart bundle.
Um Oh, well, they have the NSO. No, the NSO tied with it, but it's not the expansion pack tier one that could have came with
No,
that.
well, no, I'm saying no, like, but like, I'm pretty sure there's a bundle in stores now where it comes with some stickers and pins, but it also comes with a code for the booster course pass
Um, maybe if it's a
and
different
also
one,
like the
I
game.
pulled up Best Buy right in front of me, and I'm looking at theirs, and it's just literally the full game download with the NSO, and that's it for like $300. 3 months of
Oh, I
NSO.
don't know.
Hmm.
What for the Smash Bros?
No, that was for Mario Kart. For Smash
Oh
Brothers,
yeah. No, no, no. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying Mario Kart by itself also has a booster course pass bundle now.
oh,
So like you
hmm.
could buy the Smash Bros one, like the Switch. You can buy the Switch that comes with Smash Bros, and then after that buy the Mario. I think that's what they're going for.
Huh. No,
But
yeah, I
you
could
also
see
have
that
another
one.
option just for Mario Kart.
And I think in terms of some other deals I've been seeing on here, like I guess you can get was it Sonic Superstars recently released. You can get that for 40. I already mentioned it about the Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, that being $15. Um, you can even buy Persona 5 Royal on the Nintendo Switch for $25, or even on the PS5 version, you can get that one for 20. I almost bought the Persona 5 Royal again because I kind of wanted this space for my PS5. I don't know, just to stick up on my shelf. I don't know. I'm still debating on that one though. But yeah, so there's been some decent deals in terms of gaming, nothing crazy out there like how you used to see these Black Friday deals when people were like fighting and stuff and trying to break in and stuff. Like we ain't got none of those anymore. I kind of miss those days though. You can't be
I
hustling
miss
like
it
that
too.
anymore.
I think that's most of the deals though.
Yeah, I think we about got most of the spread on it though. And if you happen to be
A lot of
watching
good
this
ones.
now, I will be making a video that should be dropping out this Friday. I have to round up my stuff though, but should have a video out soon where I'll be talking about if you happen to miss the Black Friday or the Cyber Monday craze, because none of these deals are just gonna 100% disappear. There's still gonna be some good deals here and there though, but I should have a video that's dedicated purely towards that. Short form, much shorter than what we're talking about in this podcast though. But just a heads up on that. But I think outside of that, was there anything else we're missing, Steven, or did we manage about hit all this stuff?
Everyone that is watching this podcast, buy Pac-Man World Repack on Steam for $10.
On Steam, it's $10.
Yeah, Pac-Man World Repack is pretty good, and it surprised me.
Hmm.
I never played the original Pac-Man World. I really liked it though.
Because I remember that thing being talked about on the Switch. Okay. Hmm.
No, it is really good on. I have it on Switch. I'm just saying it's probably even better on Steam.
Oh, okay. Shoot, even oh, that's something else. All right, yeah. So yeah, so we managed to get a good spread though. But if you haven't been watching this, I want to hear about your stuff in the comment section down below, or just at me on Twitter or something though. But I want to see what y'all might have potentially picked up for y'all's holiday sales and all that stuff though. But that's gonna basically do it in terms of our Black Friday deals section right here. Now this next topic, it's interesting. We should have had 1080 snowboarding next on the docket though. But however, they Nintendo Kings of Left Field, they hit us with a weird one right here though. But for the month of December, we're actually gonna have our next N64 game be added to the expansion pack tier. And it's not 1080 snowboarding. I thought they were gonna go with it for the wintertime theme, but it's Jet Force Gemini. But you got to take a real close look at this box art right here that they showed on this tweet though, because that rare logo's over there in that bottom left corner.
Hell yeah.
So we got GoldenEye first, we got Banjo Kazooie, now we got a little bit of Jet Force Gemini. So I'm just saying now, Diddy Kong Racing should be next up on the docket and Donkey Kong 64. I
Well,
mean, this kind of just opens up the floodgates because we were just thinking maybe those first two games were
okay.
exceptions,
Come
but
on.
ooh,
Donkey Kong 64 was absolutely gonna happen. Like it's gonna happen. It's just gonna be something that gets revealed one random day, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like come on, there's no reason why Donkey Kong 64 won't happen. Banjo-Kazooie is a lot harder to get than fucking that. You want to know a game that we are gonna get now that like we have an 18 plus app though?
Oh, ooh, if you're talking about my boy over there, Conker, bro, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
baby.
heck yes, baby, heck yes. No, yeah, because that's the other
That is
part of
the
the story.
perfect way to get Conquer.
Yeah,
If
because
they
in
can.
Japan, they actually made a separate app where it's like an 18 plus thing. Because it's weird because in Japan, they actually finally managed to get GoldenEye as well as what would be um
Oh wait, it's only Japan
right
is getting
now,
the age-rated app.
yeah, as of
Okay.
now, it's
If they
only
do
Japan
Conquer,
that's
they'll
doing
have
that.
yeah. If they do Conquer, they'll have to move that shit over.
But yeah, so they managed to stick a couple of those games over there in that 18 plus app because I guess with them being in Japan and stuff, the ratings are a little bit different. Because for
Yeah.
us, GoldenEye I think is rated teen. I want to say so it's a little different with the age rating and stuff with different regions and stuff. The fact they made a mature rated app that's dedicated to that, because I guess you don't want Mario in that E to mature rated. That'd be a little weird or a little whack though. But now that we have an app that's dedicated like that, I'm hoping it comes stateside so you can get those mature games like that. Because I would love and die to see Conquer. Because I seen a little bit of that gameplay and like, oh shoot! I like after seeing a little bit of it, I'm like, I actually want to play this for myself. I got a lot of kicks and thrills out of that mess though. So it does open up the gate for the mature rated stuff, but it also opens up the gates for anything else Rare has made. So I'm looking at Diddy Kong Racing, I'm looking at Donkey Kong 64 and all that good stuff though. So yeah, the N64 ain't done yet if we're throwing rare games up in there because I think the combination of Nintendo related releases like your Ocarina of Times and your Mario 64s accompanied by your rare games, that's where most of the bread and butter was, at least with that generation though.
Also, Banjo-Tooie we might get.
Oh yeah, we might get that one too.
But at
Oh
the
yeah.
same time, I've heard like the Switch version ain't the best either way. No, N64 version. I mean, N64 version apparently had like a lot of slowdown for Banjo-Tooie.
Oh yeah, for two probably, yeah.
But like maybe we'll still get it. I personally kind of wish they just did the Xbox versions because
Oh
the
yeah,
Xbox
yeah.
360 had amazing versions of both of them.
They did. Which hey, well, I'm kind of curious because once this game comes out, I don't know if Jeffers Gemini was in that. What was it, that rare replay? It might have
Of
been.
course
I
it
don't.
was.
But yeah, so if it was in there, which you said it is, then I'm curious because of the fact that with GoldenEye, if they went all the way over and beyond to do those enhancements with GoldenEye, what's there to say that maybe some of these other rare games that Microsoft owns now, because they have to be in collaboration with them with some of this stuff now, who knows? We might get some enhanced versions for these N64 games, though. So maybe these ones will take a little bit longer to get, but when they do come out, they might have some of those quality updates that are in the Xbox 360 version.
Because isn't GoldenEye widescreen?
Yeah, it's there's a widescreen enabled
Fucking,
mode, so yeah,
this is
bust off that
so
four by
weird,
three.
dude. It just makes no sense.
Hey, I
That
loved it. I loved it. I need to actually pick
yeah,
up that game and
it's
get
just
through that
weird.
campaign again. But
It
yeah,
should. It's just weird that it's not its own application. I guess.
yeah, in the sense that if you wanted to, just do a single purchase on it, then yeah, I could see it like that though. But then again, eh, it's nice as part of the subscription based service.
Yeah,
It
it's just
has reason
interesting.
to for people to get it though. But yeah, I think this is
Yeah,
I think that's a major good get. I mean, I don't have any personal experience with Jet Force Gemini. I will go through and play and mess with it a little bit, once the game actually drops though. But the potential what this does mean in the sense of the 18 plus apps, as well as more rare games coming to the service, that's where all the excitement begins.
yeah. No, N64 Online. I'd say it's really the only things it's missing for me is Banjo Tooie, DK64, and Smash 64. I'd say if it gets those, it's a pretty good lineup of the greatest hits of N64.
Yeah, like Nintendo wise, like what you mentioned, all we were missing is Smash and Donkey Kong 64. I think that's it. I think we had almost every other major N64 game that's Nintendo related,
We
except
have
for those
original. Wait,
two.
wait. We have original Pokemon Snap on there, right? I'm just
Yeah,
trying
we
to
have.
remember.
Yeah, we even have original Pokemon Snap on there. We have both the Pokemon stadiums on there. So I'm like, we almost
Yeah, we
about
have
have
most of
everything.
them.
Yeah, we
We
about
we
have
don't have
everything.
like third party wise. We don't have them. We don't have Doom 64, Bomberman
Well,
64.
and that's the other thing though too with stuff like that. Those it's going to be weird because some companies are going to be out there and say we're going to release our own things. Like you could technically buy Doom 64 on the Switch right now. It's not a part of the NSO service though, but you have options like that, Turok, and some of these other ones that were N64 games, but they're already released on the eShop as it is right now. But
Yeah,
it,
but I'm looking at this Nintendo wise. It's just the rare stuff. It's just DK64 and Diddy Kong Racing.
yeah, so hopefully those come soon because I heard a lot of praise with Diddy Kong Racing. So I got to see if they're willing to put their money where their mouth is. So I got to race from that one and see if it's good. But yeah, so that's gonna basically do it in terms of that one segment. So we got one more thing to talk about before we top off the night here, and that is yes, the Game Awards. It's slowly approaching, coming out on December 7th, and now, as of the time of this podcast, we have all the nominations that are currently up. I actually made a video already, and I kind of went through myself just talking and discussing about the different nominations that were nominated. And I actually made my own selections on that video. So if you're curious to see every single one of my lists for whatever kind of category it's been dubbed to be in, it's out there on the channel. However, I'm kind of curious to hear your thoughts on it, Steven. And then also, we might as well go ahead and have a little mini discussion of what we think will probably win Game of the Year, though. But was there before we talk about the game of the year stuff? Was there any other categories that was kind of interesting or things you wanted to kind of point out?
So what are the main categories we're discussing again?
All right, let me pull up the website because it's,
Sorry.
it's been a second since I looked at this messed up.
Oh wait, wait,
But
just like I could just I'll just say before you pull it up, I'll just say my answer because I'm assuming it's not gonna be here.
what,
I think best family game is that on
okay, yeah,
there?
yeah, best family game is on there. Yeah,
I think best family game. I think Mario Wonder is gonna win. Like I think Mario Wonder is gonna win that because I don't see it winning Game of the Year at all. I do not see that fucking game winning Game of the Year. As much as I'd love that, it's not happening.
no,
I
yeah, I
think it's
100%
only
agree
I
with
think
that.
But here's the thing, though. I think all the other nominees for Game of the Year have a solid chance. Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate 3, RE4 Remake, Tears of the Kingdom, and Alan Wake all have an equal chance from what I've heard. Alan Wake, I've heard like mixed things, but like mostly positive. It's just gonna be it's kind of a big, like, I don't know. I don't know who's gonna win. It really just depends on what they enjoyed more in like little Game Awards land.
Yeah, yeah, we have to remember at the end of the day that this is um the categories that these are going to be voted for. It's made by people that are into the gaming sphere, media, all that stuff, and they're just judges at the end of the day. And it's really up to kind of like what the it's a little weird to say this though, but it's kind of dependent on what they kind of feel is going to basically be the crown jewel for any of these categories for whatever they've been nominated for. It's kind of hard to describe though, but it's like even though we can vote on it ourselves, like the portion of our votes put together, it's going to be like very small in comparison to like the actual media judges for all of these things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you on that family game one. I'm pretty sure because like what we had Mario Brothers, Sonic Superstars, Pikmin 4. How the heck did Party Animals get on here? And Disney Illusion Island. But yeah, between all those, it's definitely gonna be Mario Wonder. Let's see. Any other categories sticking out for
I
you?
think Pikmin 4 has a chance.
Has a chance, but it ain't beating no Mario Wonder. Let's keep it
I guess
real.
it's not a family game. I don't know. Sonic
Yeah.
Superstars could be. I feel like Mario Wonder. It's not nearly as interesting as of a multiplayer game as like new Super games. Like there's less like interactivity, but like I do think it's a better experience overall. While Sonic Superstars, you play that game multiplayer, it sucks. The camera constantly follows everybody.
Yeah. Let
It's
me see.
not good at all.
Let me see here.
If we're talking about other categories, there's a lot of stupid categories I could hardly care about.
What about best fighting?
Wait, what?
Best fighting.
Street Fighter 6 is winning. Come on.
All right. Yeah, you're right. I was
No, no,
just
like
making sure you weren't
Mortal
gonna say no
Kombat
Mortal Kombat or something.
could. I don't think. Listen, it could win, but like, should it?
No, not with Street Fighter 6 and in terms of like the
What else is
accessibility
even
stuff that it.
there?
It was that Pocket Bravely, Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and God of
Okay,
Rock.
I must say I do like Nick All Star Brawl 2. I've been playing that.
Has it been a game you've
Nickelodeon
been
All Star
thoroughly
Brawl.
enjoying?
Wait, what?
Has it been a game you've been thoroughly enjoying?
Yes, I have. I will say I have been thoroughly enjoying Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2 more. But Street Fighter 6 is a really good game as well, and it has a pretty fun single player.
No, I'm giving that one to Street Fighter 6. I'm like, there ain't no way any of those other categories are winning. But it was interesting because we could have had Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken all up in the same category in the same exact year. It could have been
Yeah.
wild, but Tekken got
I'm
delayed till next year. But
I'm
yeah.
hoping Pizza Tower wins best debut indie because I fucking love that game. I'd love to see it just get recognition.
I gave you a shout out on that one because I didn't know any of those indies, I think, except for that one. So I did mention, I was like, you did play that one. So I was like, I
It's
will say
good.
that.
It's very good.
Let me see
Um
these other ones.
I don't know, Sea of Stars probably is gonna win best indie game
Oh
overall.
no, Sea of Stars is better because that one looks really impressive. I like that one.
Best action adventure is a really tough category. Think about best action adventure. You have Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and Tears of the Kingdom. And let's be completely honest, Jedi Survivor, everyone stopped talking about immediately.
Yeah, at least for
No
me,
one talked about that
I
game, even though
put
the
Tears of the
original was.
Kingdom in terms of my personal vote.
Well, yeah, I think Tears of the Kingdom probably would win best action adventure, while Game of the Year will go to Spider-Man 2.
Alright.
Spider-Man 2 has just been one of those games that's just been hyped up to hell and back, but it actually like delivered like good on the hype. While Tears of the Kingdom, even like a couple weeks before launch, we knew nothing.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
that is true. There was more of a
To this
surprise
day,
element in Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
yeah, to this day, I'll still say that like they did not market Tears of the Kingdom well at all.
I mean, yeah, they were relying heavily on the previous success of the first game. I will say that. However, I do like the fact that they managed to keep the underground completely off the books until we actually played it ourselves. That was a nice,
Yeah,
delicate, or that was a nice surprise right there because we don't normally get that in games nowadays unless it's like a boss or something. But you kind of expect that. So yeah.
yeah, but like they definitely should have just given us more of an idea of what's new, even if they didn't have to show it. Like you, I don't know. It, like they didn't have to even show a lot of the underground. You know, they could have showed more gameplay. We didn't get like actual direct feed gameplay till like a month before Zard.
It's fine with that. I don't know.
I don't
It
know.
didn't
It
bother me
just
that much because with it being a sequel, you kind of already knew what you were getting yourself into. Whereas if it were a brand new game, then you really need a lot more information.
well, I'd say with a game with an open world game, a sequel should be as big of as a brand new game.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Like
that it wasn't gonna be or slash never would be, but you kind of you have an idea or a head idea of where it could possibly go. Whereas if what we were talking about what the next Legend of Zelda game will be on we'll just say the Switch 2 or something like that, then we absolutely have no idea. We know it'll probably be open world, but in terms of the art style, the way how it will play, its new mechanic, its new structures and stuff, that's completely, there where anybody can speculate on it all day long. So, it's a little bit different.
yeah,
Let's see here. I'm looking at some of these other ones. Wait, hold on. Oh, I was thinking I hit best family game. I hit best multiplayer though, but best multiplayer that's got to go to Mario Wonder or Street Fighter 6. But I'd say Mario Wonder because you can just put more people up in the game. Let me see here. See, that's weird. Why in the world do we have? This is interesting. Like we need to break this down a little bit more. So how the heck we have a best action game category and then a best action slash adventure
because it's
category. That's
literally
ridiculous.
because Game Awards is literally just for like marketing purposes. Zard. They just
I know it
created
is,
another
but
category to give more, to give more things a chance. Not because it actually deserves to be its own category. It's just so that they can give different games a chance.
yeah, in terms of best action, I didn't know or play any of these games except for High Five Rush, so I had to give it to that.
I would still give it the Hi-Fi Rush personally. I really liked Hi-Fi Rush.
All right, now to the real meat and potatoes, Steven. The best esports game.
Who the fuck cares? Move on.
Hold on, hold on, but you got to give me an
Okay.
answer. You got to give me
Um,
an answer though. So you have Counter Strike 2, Dota 2, PUBG Mobile, Valorant, and League of Legends.
I'd rather kill myself, Zard.
No, give me a vote. Give me a
I'd
vote.
rather kill myself. I
You know,
haven't played any of
no,
these.
but I don't care. You hadn't played any of these. You know the one you have to vote for. Go ahead and
What?
say it.
Fucking League of Legends?
There you go. Because we see that advertisement mess all
Huh.
over the place. You
I
know
guess
what?
that
On a
Game
lot
Award.
of
Yeah, I guess Game Awards does like get a lot of money from Riot Games. You're right.
because that's the one thing I'm like, hey, I don't like usually voting in those weird categories though, but you know what? For that best esports game, I always got to put that vote down for League of Legends, man. I see the advertising too
I'm more
much though.
surprised Fortnite's not there. Fortnite kind of
Oh, you know what? Fortnite wasn't
competitive scene.
represented at all in this thing.
Yes, it is. I'm pretty sure it's
Or
still under
ongoing,
best
or is it
ongoing,
ongoing?
right?
Oh,
I
let me see
think it
here.
might be an ongoing.
Where's that? Where
I
the
think
heck is
that's
that
the
sucker
only
at?
thing it's in. I don't think it even got in best community support this year.
Oh, there it is. Best
Mostly because,
ongoing.
yeah, mostly because it kind of lost a lot of
No, actually,
popularity.
no. That's ongoing. Oh no, never mind. There it is. Yeah, it was Fortnite, Genshin Impact, Final Fantasy 14, Cyberpunk 2077, and Apex Legends.
Yeah.
Let's see here. But no, it's weird when you get down to those weird categories where it's like best esports team, best esports coach, best esport event. That's where things get real weird. Like literally when I saw the best esports coach, I was having fun with that video. I was like, all right, they're not a coach unless they're big and fat. So I had to give it to Danny Zonic Soren. That's a crazy name right there though. But he was the biggest one out of all of them. I don't know. I had a
You
little
chose
fun
him
with.
because he was the biggest one.
He looked like an actual football coach, man.
That's fattest. Can't say that.
I'm sorry though. I was having fun with it at the end because
As a
those are
fat
those.
man myself, I am personally offended by that.
No, but that dude had that football look down to a T. I ain't gonna lie. But no, I had fun with some of those other ones because those are the ones I really don't take that seriously though. Let's look at most anticipated game for next year before we look at the game of the year. So the most anticipated ones we had Tekken 8, Star Wars Outlaws, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Hades 2, and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. In terms of
Final
all of
Fantasy
those,
VII's winning.
that's what I put to.
Well, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth was gonna be good, and what was the other one? Tekken 8 was
Yeah,
there.
Tekken 8,
People are gonna be excited for that one, but I think Final Fantasy's got this in the bag. That's gonna be one of 2023's instant. That's gonna be one of
24.
2024's like instant like games. Like, because here's the thing, I feel like you know how this year was kind of like a consistently we got big games the whole year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I do think it's not gonna be like that for 2024.
Hmm.
I do think 2024 is going to be a lot more contained. I think we're gonna get everything at the end of the year, Zard.
Well, I'll
Like
say
next year is gonna be your new Pokemon. You know, your new like Pokemon remake is gonna be next year.
I don't.
Your
Well, if
new
it's a remake, I don't think it's gonna be
yes,
like
it
a
will.
remake like Unova because they do remakes every other generation. But I will say it's not gonna be like a Unova remake. It will probably be like a Let's Go style one if it's a remake because that's like a remake of a remake
Well, they'll do
series.
something. Yeah,
But
they'll do
yeah,
so. You know what I mean? We'll get your Pokemon game next week. I do think. Well, next year. I mean, not next week. I do think next year will be a new Mario game. I don't know
I
what
think
it will
so
be.
too.
So yeah, but besides that, I, anticipated games. What else? We don't. Oh, Metroid Prime 4 is still in the nothingness chamber.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Nothing is gonna happen with that game.
No,
But
because
it's been
even
almost 7 years since it was announced.
yeah, I would say that's not coming out until we get the next new console. If that comes out next year, then there actually could be a good chance that that could happen though. But looking at everything we do know in terms of the games we already know about, we're going to get hit with that initial wave between late January and February. We're going to get hit with a wave in the summer, and we're probably going to get hit with a wave in holiday. Because even looking at January and February right now, it's a little dumb and ridiculous. Like you have the Ace Attorney Apollo Justice series with 4, 5, and 6. You have Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. You have the Persona 3 Reload remake. You have Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. You also have Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. And I felt like I missed and Tekken 8 is kind of early in that year too, and I felt like I'm missing one more thing, but that's like 5 or 6 games within the span of like a few weeks. So we're gonna get hit hard. Oh, and that Prince of Persia game that also comes out in January, the one that we were both looking at too. So they're gonna hit us pretty hard at the very beginning. A little unprecedented to say the least, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So in
I
terms of the game of the year categories right here, which the interesting thing to always remember about this one is whatever wins best game direction typically always win best game of the year. So that's kind of keep that in mind. But looking at all of them, we have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Out of all
literally
six of
just the
these,
game of the year nominees.
yeah, but here's the thing. Out of all six of these, the only one that's not in the best game direction is Resident Evil 4. So if you want to be a bet man, do
Because
not say
it
Resident Evil 4 is going to be game of the year right there.
but here's the thing though. Of course it can't win best game direction because it's just copying a game's direction.
So yeah, so
It's a
obviously
remake. It
yeah, so
can't have best game direction.
Yeah, so obviously you ain't gonna have that one winning it. So really, it's down between Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3,
It's not.
Spider-Man
I
2,
don't.
Mario Wonder, or Tears of the Kingdom.
Well, I don't know. It could still listen. Resident Evil 4 could still be Game of the Year while something else wins Best Game Direction. It could happen.
It
So
could happen, but it will be.
I
Ooh,
personally do think that Baldur's Gate 3 is gonna win Best Game Direction with all of the accessibility shit it has in it, and how big and how much shit you can do in that game.
yeah, which that's always gonna scare me because usually it's whoever wins that category usually wins Game of the Year. There has been a few years where it hasn't been the case, but it's been a pretty good, strong correlation between
Yeah,
the two.
obviously I don't care what wins. Like whatever wins is it's a there's so many good games this year that it's gonna be a good game no matter what wins.
Yeah, I just kind of hope it's one of the ones I actually gone through and played. Me personally, I would say I think Spider-Man 2 probably deserves to win it though. But I could see why also Legends of the Tears of the Kingdom is really good because before Spider-Man 2 came out, my vote would have been Tears of the Kingdom. But I can also understand Mario Wonder because that's like what the first good 2D Mario we had in like over a decade or so. And then I can see why people say Baldur's Gate 3, but it's just personally not my cup of tea. Alan Wake 2, like what? That's PC digital only. So I never would have played that. And at some point in the future, maybe I would have played Resident Evil 4, but it wouldn't be anytime soon. Whew. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's about it in terms of these game of the year categories though. But was there anything else you wanted to say on any of the other nominations or just the Game Awards in general
Vote for Mario Wonder.
for everything?
Vote for Mario Wonder.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Steven said vote for him and everything. Just don't vote for him in the game of the year. Put your votes down
Shut
on either
up!
Spider-Man 2
Shut
or put it
up!
on Tears of the Kingdom. I need one of
Shut.
those two beating out Baldur's Gate 3, man. Like that game looked whack to me. I
Look,
don't know.
Spider-Man 2 looks cool and all, but I haven't played it yet. Mario Wonder is
You will
fucking
under
epic.
you will understand why I said Spider-Man 2 when you get to that one point in the
Well,
game,
yeah,
I'm
like,
telling you.
listen, of course it's gonna be good. Like, I played the first one, I loved it. I played Miles Morales, I really liked it. Like, it's gonna be good, I know.
So y'all
It's
heard
just,
it here. Vote for Spider-Man 2 or Tears of the Kingdom. All right, so
yes.
I think that basically does it in terms of the Game Award nominees. So next time we talk about this in the podcast, which will technically be the last live podcast I'll probably will do, because when we get closer to the holiday seasons, the timing with the podcast gets a little weird. So assuming if nothing weird pops up, November, I said November, December 10th will be the last time I do a live podcast here on the Sunday night. Because the one that comes after that might be pre-recorded with one of my other buddies or whatnot, though. But yeah, on the 10th, we should be talking about all the results that happened from the Game Awards and just kind of giving our thoughts on what won certain categories. And also all those cool world premieres, like, took a shot every time you heard that. Like, oh shoot. Yeah, it's gonna be
World
one of them kind
premiere.
of it's gonna be one of them kind of nights. So I don't know. I always kind of love watching that show at the end of the year. It's one of the only award shows I actually watch. Like I don't watch the Grammys. I don't watch the what's the other one with the Oscars. I don't watch that. I usually hear about the highlights of it, but I don't sit down and watch the whole thing. But I do this for that because obviously the news segment in terms of what could be announced as brand new. I didn't even mention this about this, Steven, though, but you think Nintendo's going to show up with anything brand new? I highly doubt it, but yeah, like
Reveal
reveal
wise.
something.
I think we'll get the first gameplay for Metroid Prime 4. And I'm
Heck
being
no.
completely serious about that. I
Heck no.
come on,
Heck
come on.
no. No, I really
You really don't think we'll at least get small amount of gameplay? I think that's perfectly
if it
understandable.
were anything, it's just gonna be CGI stuff because I strongly believe this is coming out
I'd
with the
prefer
next
that.
console. It's coming out with the next
Still,
console.
listen, literally any mention of Metroid Prime 4 will be good. Obviously, we'll get like a Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth trailer and this and that. But
Yeah,
like
Rebirth would make sense.
But yeah, listen, man. I think we're gonna get some kind of Nintendo announcement here. Oh, I just think it will be Metroid Prime 4. I think Metroid Prime 4 is finally gonna get like come on, because Nintendo knows how much people want that game.
Yeah, because I think looking back at the the previous announcements that Nintendo's made at the Game Awards, it's literally been, what was it? Bayonetta 1 and 2. Bayonetta 3 was one of them. We had, what was it? The Avengers game. What was it called? Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. That was shown
Oh,
there.
okay.
We had the announcement that Joker's coming to Smash there. And I think beyond that, unless you go way back in the past, like with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, like in the Wii U era, in recent memory, like that's some of the only things I think Nintendo has had a presence there, with the Game Awards. Oh, and I think that Bayonetta spinoff
Did
maybe
you
might have
mention
been in there.
Sephiroth?
Oh, the Sephiroth trailer for Smash Bros. Yeah, no, I didn't mention that one. That's the other one.
That's a big one. I still think that's probably my one of my favorite reveals for Smash Ultimate. I don't know. I like obviously Smash Bros was like their big thing. They always liked to have at Game Awards. I personally just think that we're gonna get Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. Oh, and also, what was it? They also showed Fire Emblem Engage deals or Engage expansion packs. I forgot they showed that mess up in there.
Who
They
the
showed
fuck cares?
they showed that the Super Mario Bros. Wonder movie trailer. They showed a little bit of that up in there. Uh,
I was gonna say, Eiji Onuma shows up on stage and is like, "Here's the castings for the Zelda movie.
but yeah,
Tom
I think that's
Holland as
about
Link."
it. No, that's coming in a direct. Either next year will be at the artist at Fall Direct, but it more than likely
Nah,
probably later. Be way
yeah,
later
probably
than
like
that.
2025 because the movie just started production.
But yeah, so I think outside of that, that's basically gonna do it in terms of the Game of the Year nominees. And you got a little bit more time, Steven?
Yeah, Mario RPG is really good.
Okay.
Why haven't you played it yet, Zard?
All right. Well, we might as well go ahead and talk about that segment though. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the. So what you been playing? All right. So here's the thing, Steven. I was like, I know that game came out. I just got too much on my plate. The money's a bit tight. So I have to
That's
actually hold
fair.
off on getting that game. It is on my agenda to get at some point later in the
Yeah.
future. It probably be sometime early 2024.
Have
Like I probably will have it in my hands
yeah.
before June at the latest. But yeah,
Well, it's a good thing it's not a new game, so you're not missing out on anything major. Important question though, have you ever played the original?
I dabble with the original one, like on my SNES Classic. That's how I messed around with it a little bit. I never got too far in the game.
Well, then I think yeah, I feel like it's a game right up your alley because you like RPGs. I know that, and you like old RPGs. You played the Final Fantasy ones,
Yeah,
so I
that's
think
like the
this will be
dirtiest, oldest you
yeah.
can about get right there.
And you like yeah, you like your old RPGs, and it's full of character. It's got great music, and it's. They actually did some modern enhancements, like they made it so you could switch party members mid-fight, which wasn't in the original,
Oh,
and stuff
oh,
like that.
that's actually good.
Yeah, they remixed all the music, obviously, fully redid all the visual. It looks and sounds great. It's honestly one of the most faithful remakes in a while. Everything from the original is still there.
Hmm.
Like
Okay.
all of those, because that game was full of secrets, like tons of secret codes that secret like things you can find, and really weird like things that happened if you did something for a long time. Like there's this one mini game that you have to play 100 times in order for something different to happen.
What the heck?
Yeah, there's like a lot of weird, funny secrets in Mario RPG. It was one of my favorite games growing up on Virtual Console. Just like finding out all the cool stuff in it. So I just had such a fun time going back to it.
I gotcha.
So yeah,
Um.
whenever you get, that's really the only thing I've been playing, and it's great.
Okay. All right.
What have you
Uh,
been playing?
in terms of me, it's a little weird because I guess this whole Thanksgiving week, because everything's been going down, visiting family and stuff like that, and other things popping up. I hadn't been playing too many games this week, so I had to
That's how
actually
it
look
is,
back to
yeah.
last week. And for me, honestly, I would say, what is it? I've been playing Mario Wonder. I'm still not done with that game. Surprisingly, I'm not done with that game yet. I think I'm halfway there. I'm halfway
It's
there through
good.
the worlds.
I'd say it's good to take your time with games like that. Like
I mean, because
you don't
with
want
it
to.
being a 2D one, there's the story's there, but it's not like a Spider-Man 2, which I prioritize that the second that I got
Oh,
that.
of
But
course, yeah,
so I just been taking my time with Mario Wonder. So I just been playing in small bursts like that. So I've been playing a little bit of that, and I'm also been playing. Oh, why is the name slipping my head right now? Even though I play this thing like a little way too much. Um, Honkai Star Rail. I've been playing a whole bunch of that.
it's
Like,
a mobile game, right?
yeah, it's technically a mobile slash PC game. I've been playing on my ROG Ally, so basically playing it on PC though. But I was playing it on that before they dropped it on PS5 because they did that recently. I think it was like early October or something like that. But no, I've
Yeah,
been playing that and I'm hooked on the thing, man. I actually put money up in the game. Like that's how good it is. And I'm like I hadn't put mobile money in the mobile game since I think like Pokemon Go. So I'm like, yeah, this stuff is good. Like I tried to get into Genshin Impact. That didn't really float my boat. But maybe it's
yeah,
because this one is like a true turn-based game. I'm actually able to get behind this stuff. It respects your time a lot more than Genshin, because Genshin, you're running in like these open world environments and stuff. So you can get yourself lost and spend a lot of time just traversing the world. Whereas with Honkai Star Rail, because it's a turn-based battle system, it's more linear in the way that you're supposed to go about doing things though, but then obviously you have these battle interactions and stuff like that though. So Honkai Star Rail appeased me more so than Genshin Impact. So that's the one I've been going through and constantly playing and making sure I'm logging in to get my currency and stuff so I can do these gotcha pulls, man. It's been a while since I did a gotcha pull, Steven. It's been a hot minute though, but I got all my 4 stars. I got all the 4 stars up in the game. Every single 4 star I managed to have. It's just the 5 stars because they got these stingy little character event summons. And I think they're similar to Genshin, where they run these bears, and you can only get these certain select 5 star characters when they're up for a banner for like 3 weeks. And once it's taken down, there's no way to get it. And that's the only thing that's holding me back from getting like all these other characters because I'm a completionist at heart in some ways, especially when it comes to gotchas. So I'm like,
yeah.
hey, I kind of want to get everything though, but I know realistically it probably ain't gonna happen though. But I think between those 2 games, that's basically what I've been playing for the most part. I dabble with Sonic Superstars. I still hadn't finished that one. I probably won't finish that one until I'm done with Mario Wonder. But I also managed to, I feel like I'm dabbling into too many games at this point, though. That's just the name of the game, though. But I actually managed to crack open my Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It's a PS5 version one, and I actually managed to play a little bit of that. And whole shoot, that game is good and cool, but I think I got my fun out of it because I know the story. I know what's going to happen in it, though. But I think it's pretty nice, and for $20, I feel like I got my money's worth out of it. But what it really reawakened in me was the fact that I really want to go back and watch Dragon Ball Z again. So it convinced me to go back and start rewatching all of Dragon Ball Z. So now I'm currently up in the Majin Buu arc right now, just rewatching the series though. But in terms of the game, I managed to play through the whole entire Saiyan Saga arc, the Frieza arc, and I got part way into the Android arc before I said, you know what, I think I got my fill on this game though. But that's
I
all the
don't know
games I've been going through
anything
and playing.
about Dragon Ball, but yeah,
You need to watch that. Oh shoot, bro, you're missing out.
there's a lot of things I need to watch.
Well, it is the holiday season, so you better jump on that mess.
I
Oh,
will. I will.
yeah. Yeah. So I think outside of that, I don't think I'm missing anything else. So I think that's roughly and the main gist of what I've been recently playing though. But with the extra time with the holidays and stuff, I'll probably be trying to mess around with a little bit more, maybe try to stream some more games and whatnot. So it we're in the fun part of the season, the fun part. But I think outside of that, that's basically all I have for this podcast tonight. So a lot of good topics that we managed to kind of go through and talk about and discuss though, but nonetheless, pretty good solid week. Coming off the heels of Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Pretty fun, I'll say, pretty fun. But Steven, let the fine people know where they can find you at.
You can find me on Twitter at Steven Jr. 1231.
Alrighty, and I always leave his little information down in the show notes down below, though. But like how I always say, we're just a couple dudes just doing this podcasting gig thing, just talking about pop culture stuff, gaming stuff, and all of that. So if you happen to manage to listen all the way up until this point, really appreciate it, truly do. But, make sure to go and hit that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on anything video game related or pop culture I feel like talking about and discussing. I think currently, as of this moment, I'm at 486 subscribers. Bruh, all I want for Christmas is 14 more subs, man. I just want 14 more subs just to say, hey, before the start of 2024, I managed to hit 500 subs. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. So if you like us, make sure to share this thing around, though. But in terms of this podcast, you don't have to just listen to the video version of it here on YouTube. I am on Google, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. Yes, you can even listen to me in the radio with iHeartRadio. Got a channel over there as well, though. But yeah, there's a couple dudes talking about gaming related stuff, though. So that's going to basically do it in terms of my ZardCast episode 66. I had to go back and look at my screen and make sure that was right because last week, and I said this to Steven before we closed out or after we closed the podcast, I made a mistake. I actually said episode 66 was last week's episodes, even though that was truly 65. It was either that or I said 64 or something. It was one way or the other though. So I messed up the numbers last time, so I knew I wasn't gonna mess it up this time. But yeah, that's gonna basically do it in terms of my ZardCast episode 66. So remember, y'all, until we're a video I make next, and until my next ZardCast episode 67. All right, I did that right. I'll see y'all later.